Right, another day I've got free, so try and get a bit more done on the Lancia. I think last time I was working on the sill. Show you where we're at. So got that panel in, got a bit of primer on it. It's all looking nice. I'm quite pleased with it. It's certainly very strong. And before I made up one of these panels in one of the previous episodes, made up this panel here. So I want to get that in today and then start working on this lower section here, which is part of the outer sill. It comes into this inner sill here and gives some strength there, and then we can work on making this outer sill, and this as a small piece that needs to just go in there to finish that door jamb off. So we'll try and get them done today. Right, that's that piece welded in. That's gone in quite nice. Follow these lines around quite well. Just a little bit of skimmer filler on there probably, just tidy that up there. Not too worried about that weld there. I've not cleaned it up all the way because there's another piece going to go over the top there. So now is this piece under here. I've got to try and make that piece up so it comes down to here and fill that in. So that's the next job. Right, this is quite a complicated piece, so I think what I'm going to do, as I've never tried this before, but I've seen somebody recommended watching Fitz's Fabricating YouTube channel, and he's got some really good ideas, so I'm picking a few bits up off him. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to do this piece, although this is all one piece and it's just like pressings in it. I'm going to do that as a separate piece and weld it on, so literally overlap the metal and then weld the join down and then grind it straight and nice. Never done that before, so I'll give that a go. And yeah, I think there's going to be probably a couple of pieces around the bottom here because it's got a fold down there and then have the flange on it. So yeah, let's cut some metal out and see how it goes. Not really sure how this is going to go, but we'll see. Okay, so that's what we're going to try and get. So we'll weld them two together and it'll give us that step. Yeah, right. Well, the thing I'm going to do is cut along this dashed line here, and then that will be that edge there. And what I can do is the rest of this material I can flatten out and bend up to come to meet it, and then we can put that step down there into that, I think. Yeah. Right, that's getting close now. So I've just tacked that one on, that little panel onto there. So I'm going to continuously weld that seam up there and then make that step in there, and then trim all this excess off here, weld that seam up there, and then it can pretty much be start to be sort of just trimmed up a little bit more and welded in. Right, it's starting to resemble that panel now. Just a little bit more trimming just to get it in there right. And then I'm just going to grind this edge in now, just to get that nice and sharp there. Probably a bit of grind with a bit of file work, just to get that body line there in. And then that could be welded in. Right, that's that piece ready to go in. I'll just start welding that in, get this line up perfectly here first, work my way up, get that to all meet up nice there, and then come round and then we'll get that welded in. that's another bit in. Got that line in there quite nice there. Followed this sill along for the original sill, and then what we're going to do now is make this panel up, or continue this panel on, and then that comes into here, welds onto there, and sort of join, makes a join there around the bottom and a lip along the bottom. So that's the next panel. Right, it's another little patch in. Just got that piece in there, so that's got that seam in there nice, and yeah, it's looking quite good, that. So next thing to do is obviously this rear quarter panel now, because I've got this step here. I might just make this piece up here that fills this in here, and then I just have one straight piece that goes all the way across the back there. I think that's going to be the easiest way. Right, so I've just made that little piece up, go in there. It's actually two pieces, so I've welded this edge. I've put some weld on the inside edge as well, just to give it some meat. So, when that's welded in there, then I can shape this edge there. I can take a little bit off it if I need to get it nice and smooth and follow the contour around there without taking it or making it too thin. So, right, we'll get that one welded in. Right, that's that piece in there. It's gone in quite nice. Just a little bit of work on that there, just to edged all nice, but that's close. That's pretty good now. So the next piece is this bottom section of this rear quarter panel to finish this, I suppose, the continuation from the sill, I suppose. So quite a straightforward panel, I think. So it'd be a 90 on there, and then there's another bend there, and then just bring it up to this, meet this panel here. So we'll get that piece made. Okay, so just working on this outer panel now. I've got them two bends in pretty much the right place. That line there is nice. That will probably overlap a bit because I think that's what it does the other side. And then I've left a little bit extra on there, so I'm going to fold that in to give this little lip here, just to tidy that edge up. And then it just needs a bit of curvature in it, and yeah, that's not far off really. So it's quite a straightforward panel considering the rest of them. So just put this bend on here, see how that looks, see how that lines up, try and get it in the right place, and then I just might have to trim this a bit here just to get that seam nice, and that'll be that panel getting close. Right, so we've got that fitting quite well around there now. I've put a little bit of a curve on that, not too much. There's actually a bit of tension on that now, so we just need to trim this down where we need it, and then we need to work on this end here. Obviously there's loads to trim off here, but I'm going to try and follow the line round of the arch, and then I'm going to weld the edge on, I think, because it sort of comes round, and then it's at an angle. It's not 90 degrees, so it's not the same all the way around. So I just need to replicate that really. Right, so I'm just trying to get this corner right here. I've just taken a bit of a template off the other side to get this curve in here, just to follow this around. So I need to trim all this off, and then I'm going to weld on a flat edge. Basically it follows this at an angle and then comes round and then goes to a 90 there. So I'll just see if I can get this right. This is what I'm trying to copy here. So that flat edge there sort of blends into this edge here, and then that sort of follows around there. So that's what I'm trying to copy at the minute. Right, that's that end piece on. Finishes that corner up there quite nicely. Obviously I'll need to trim it in a little bit, but I've got to trim it in up to the this panel here anyway. So that's that done. Oh, nice. I just need to do this little section around the back here to fill this gap in here, and then it's all ready to weld up, and that'll be this area done. Right, that panel is pretty much ready to weld in. Put some holes in it for the plug welds, and then I've got that panel in there. Tricky little panel that really, but it's in there, so it's welded in. It gives me a lip to weld this to here, so through there, plug weld through there or two, and then I'll just tidy this edge up afterwards once it's all welded up. Just want to go up a mil really. But yeah, she's ready to go. Right, I've just run out of gas, so I'm going to call it for this week. But it's all welding on the bottom there. Just ground that up. Obviously I've got to finish that seam up there, weld that in, clean that up. It's all done around this edge now, so that's coming quite nice there. And then round the back there, so a bit of seam sealer in there, or a bit of primer and then a bit of seam sealer. And then I'm going to pull all the, well, I pulled the strut back off. I'm going to pull the tank and this cross member back out and go back all black, because I don't really like the blue and it hasn't covered very well. So yeah, I'll just black it all again. I think it looks smarter, so it should be the same as what's under there. Yeah, and then probably next time I'll get this finished welded off and then work on getting all the suspension back on, and get some wheels on it and drop it back down. That'll be the back end done underneath. Alright, see you next time.